Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchadori.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another very special episode. And with me is an amazing couple that is out there helping business owners do what they do in an elegant way and producing outstanding results. With me is Richard and Sri Namaste, who are called the Infinite Couple. Richard and Namaste, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us. Yes. This is fabulous.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm so excited about the subject today because I know for a fact, based on the survey we've done, that a lot of people are struggling with their marriages, which is producing somewhat negative results in their business success. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be talking about how you can utilize your marriage as a springboard to your business success. Once again, guys, we're delighted to have you on the show. For those who haven't come across your work, please give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so we are the Infinite Couple, Baba Richard and Sri Namaste Moore. We are here to end the battle of the sexes and help men and women return to each other, and through that return, create powerful marriages, amazing, lavish abundance and wealth through their businesses, and also through the mysteries of the universe, mysticism and spirituality.
Amazing. We were talking earlier on, and you made a comment that you want people to return to doing things simpler. And that sort of resonated with me. And would you talk about that for a moment before we dive into the main subject today?
Mm-hmm. There is a simplicity to really engaging and really being in love and being seen and heard and feeling that from your beloved that makes everything better. Your food tastes better. You make more money. Sex is better. Everything is made better when you are when you're getting along at this really, really high level of engagement.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah. Now, before you got into helping business owners and doing what you do now, tell us what got you in what you're doing.
Well, we both have a background in ministry. We both have an extended background in the corporate world. I was in corporate in the diversity field for over 25 years, and Namaste was also in corporate as an HR manager, director, and she was doing that for a number of years as well. And so we decided to leave that and to strike out on our own. And we knew that we had been always doing this in terms of helping other people with their relationships.
Yes.
And whenever we go and we teach and we speak and things like that, people always stop us in the hallway. Just have a minute. I just want to tell you what's going on with us. And so this is just an opportunity for us to do it on a larger global level, the thing that we were doing all the time anyway in our lives when we were back in the professional world.
Absolutely.
Yes. And when did you guys discover that, when you work together as a couple, everything else falls into place? Was this accidental or it was intentional? You going after finding out what is really going on here?
Yeah, we really wanted to work together. There's a synergy that happens that is much more than the sum of its parts when we work together. That said, when we first started our business, we spent a little bit of time trying to do it the way we saw all the other businesses do it. Well, he does his thing and I kind of do my thing, and we're kind of separate, and he works on his project and I work on my projects. And it was a false kind of separation that was not reflective of truth. It's, we are one, we function as a team and as a unit, and we needed to do that in business as well. So we decided that we weren't going to try to model what anybody else was doing in business. And in fact, what we were going to do is just allow for the love that we share and the appreciation and respect that we have for each other to determine how we did business. And it worked. Our business is much more successful than it could have been in any other way. And what we found was that it occurred with more ease. We didn't do any hustle. We didn't really run a whole lot of Facebook ads. It was just magnetic. Our business became magnetic because it's almost like when we come together and we run business like that, we become almost like some kind of a singularity in the cosmos that really pulls in those ideal customers and clients. And when we saw that, people started asking us, how did you guys do that? That's amazing. I've been working on my business so hard and nothing is happening. And so then we started sharing with them, and we said, you know what, this message has to get out to more people. More people need to understand the power of their marriage and their business.
Amazing. I'm glad you are out there helping people do well in their business from what you have discovered to be true. Let's talk for a moment for those perhaps who are struggling right now. Perhaps marriage is not where it needs to be, and thinking about business is something like perhaps it's too far. How can they get back to a place where they can get started and begin to build on that?
I think it involves creating a shared language of understanding. People want to be happy fundamentally. They want to be loved, and they want to love. Many times we have been, the illusion in the collective is that we can be a success, and then we add love to that. You work hard, put your nose to the grindstone, create something fantastic, and then you'll find the love of your life and live happily ever after. What we believe is that your happily ever after has to start at the beginning. Love over everything. And to love is to be happy with. And when you are in love with each other, then when you focus on your business, your why is built in. I'm not trying to make money just to make money. I'm not trying to make millions and be a global success just for the accolades and all that kind of thing. I'm doing it for her, and she's doing it for me. So between, when we focus it on that level, we are literally unstoppable.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. Let's dive deep in how you work as a couple so that those who are listening can use you as a model to follow in creating that springboard for business success.
How do we work as a couple? So first of all, I have an amazing amount, just an immense amount of respect for Richard. I respect him not just as my husband, but as a man, as a business owner. I respect his mind and how he thinks and how he looks at things. And so that is fundamental to what we do and how we engage with working together. The foundation of it is a fundamental respect and an unapologetic and absolute and unconditional positive regard. So from there, whatever ideas he brings up, any vision that he has, any projects he wants to begin, from that place of respect, it's received as something that is beneficial to where we're going and where we mutually desire to be. So there's no competition between us. There's no, it's his way or my way. If we come up with two things and they seem diametrically opposed, they seem like they're on two very different ends of the spectrum, what we do is we play games with that where we say, well, how do we bring those two things together? I hear what you're saying as the masculine, and he'll say, I hear what you're saying as the feminine. And we know that, everything is created from the bringing of those two things together. So how do we do that? And we'll take time and stop everything to do that, because once that part is taken care of, everything else flows with ease.
I thought it was interesting you brought up, vision. And that is so important, because when I'm looking at something, I can see into the distance, and it's masculine, visionary a lot of times, but between the now and the not yet is the details. And Namaste is incredible at looking at the parts and pieces that need to fit together, that in my looking at toward the horizon and the wonderful thing we're going toward and full steam ahead, then she's saying, okay, well, consider these steps, and how do these things fit together, and how does that work with this? And those pieces of information are critical to the success of the entire enterprise. And there's no way to be successful without that insight.
Yeah, probably the easiest way to look at that is Baba Richard is always going to bring up the vision and the goal and where we're going. And I'm going to bring in the support that will enable us to not only have that desire and that vision, but to put legs on it to reach it. And so you need both. You don't want to just have all of the details and no movement. And you also don't want to have, let's go over there, but you don't have enough support to actually carry it out. And so we're about sustainability, and that's where sustainability is enabled, is when you have that ecological aspect to your business.
Amazing. Have you always been like that? Or this is something that you gradually had to learn?
Yeah, we've pretty much always been like that with each other.
Yeah.
We've always just looked at the world through that lens, and it's we believe everybody has a gift that they're here to give to humanity, and that this is a huge part of ours. Is that knowing of how to work together. It requires the removal of distrust that can exist, in so often in relationships where the two people, they love each other, but they don't really trust each other with each other, and that's going to show up if you have that there even a little bit. It will definitely show up in business. Business is the great amplifier of every character trait that you have.
Absolutely right there. For those perhaps ladies, Namaste, you might want to help us here. Maybe they struggle with the respect or the part to which you play. They know for a fact that this is what they need to do, but it just doesn't seem to work out. How can you help them? What can you say to them to get them to a place where they apply these principles?
Yeah, a lot of women do struggle with that. They want to offer the respect, and at the same time, it's hard for a woman to offer respect when she doesn't feel appreciated. And so, to a great extent, and so it can become this kind of who's going to do it first, right? I'll give you respect when you give me appreciation. Well, I'm waiting for the respect to give you the appreciation, and so nobody's getting what they want. And so one of the things that I tell women is to think about something in the last week. Get a list of like 5 things that your beloved has done that you loved. You're like, I love it when he does that. That just makes me so happy, whether it's about business or about, life or children or anything, just anything that he does, and amplify that. In other words, instead of talking about, I love it when he does that, but he doesn't do it enough. No, instead say, I just love it when you do that. I love that that's a part of who you are, because that's going to, 1, communicate respect to him, and 2, it's going to cause him to amplify more of that. And in so doing, he is going to give you more appreciation and positive regard because you've given him more of that respect. And then look at those things and turn them around and apply them to the business, to whatever business endeavor is going on. In other words, if you love that he's playful with the children, that means that he has the capacity to add that sense of playfulness to business, which can make it so much more pleasurable, right? If you love that he's willing to get his hands dirty and do the things that are hard to do, and taking out trash, or building things or whatever, then you can bring that into business. I love that you're willing to do the things that are the dirty things in that I don't necessarily want to do, or that are more challenging or more difficult. So you can just take that and apply that one thing into everything.
Yeah. And, I think from the masculine side, it's like that appreciation. Most men that I talk to, they have volumes and volumes of appreciation for their beloved. And you know what? It's all inside. She doesn't know about it, doesn't hear those things. And that motivates them to do the hard things, to go out and do the work and do the things that are tough. And so what I encourage them to do is to bring those things to the surface consistently, at least once a day. tell her or show to her in some way that you appreciate her.
Mm-hmm.
You have to articulate it. It can't just be on the observation deck of your mind. She needs to actually hear the words come out of your face. And that actually strikes that responsive chord where she now is giving you that unconditional positive regard and that respect and all of those things.
Yeah.
Why? Because you told her what was going on in your heart. It actually came out of your face and she could hear it.
Right.
Amazing. Let's talk about moments. Perhaps you probably don't have as many of these, but for those who find themselves arguing or maybe having total differences in the way things ought to be done, how would you go about coming together and have a headway of solving things or dealing with things?
Mm-hmm.
It boils down, it's not really super complicated, but it is very specific. And that is that you've heard the adage, seek first to understand, right?
Yes.
You need to ask questions and make sure that you actually understand what the point is
Mm-hmm.
of your beloved. What are they actually saying? What do they mean? Where are they coming from? Instead of going on what you thought they meant.
Exactly.
And then having that discussion in your head and then responding to that in kind.
Right.
Because you're on the same team.
Right.
You just may not understand each other right now,
Mm-hmm.
but you're on the same team and you need to really, really dig deep and make sure you understand what it is that she's saying. And
Mm-hmm.
then from that point, the agreement usually happens in pretty short order.
I'm glad that you brought up being on the same team, because one of the fundamental principles that we teach and coach people on is that it's never me against you. It's always you and I against the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So when an argument is going on, what is happening is that the individuals in the pairing have lost sight of the fact that it's us against the problem, and they've begun to engage in a way that says, no, it's me against you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so that's the time when you want to pause, and take a breath, go and get a glass of water or a cup of tea or something, maybe even change environment, and then begin to have the conversation anew from the place that Baba Richard just mentioned, that place of wanting to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And, this translates nicely into business as well, when you're working in with business partners, seeking how to understand how others are thinking and implementing all that. I know you guys get asked a lot of questions, and one of your frequently asked questions, perhaps you let us know some of your frequently asked questions here.
One of the questions we get asked all the time is, how are you able to be together 24/7, 365 and still survive that experience?
And be happy like you guys. I think I love how you call each other beloved. I think it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Well, I think, going back to that being on the same team thing, but finding ways to be fascinated with each other.
Yes.
We always say strive to be fascinated as opposed to being fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like you constantly looking at your beloved, and there's so much about them that you love and appreciate. There's also so much about them that you don't know. I'm always discovering new things,
Yes.
new talents, new abilities, new insights, new observations that Sri Namaste has, and that being curious about that unfolding is a source of constant joy. So I'm not cooped up in the house because of the pandemic with her. I am having a wonderful time, and there's no place else that I would rather be. And that is what we want for couples who are trying to do this thing together.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about you, Namaste? Tell us, how do you deal with that?
Well, I agree. I think that, when we are together all the time, I am so fascinated by Baba Richard. And I think that when people are spending time with their spouse, they need to, or their partner, they need to constantly not say, oh, I know them.
Mm-hmm.
But instead say, what don't I know about them? Not from a suspicious place, not from this distrustful, suspicious place, but from this place of just rich curiosity and love and joy, that there's always new universe versus to discover within each other. And when you do that, you don't get bored, and you're less likely to be frustrated, because curiosity means that you're asking questions as opposed to making just statements, right? So that makes a huge difference.
Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. We touched on appreciation. Would you remember of something you did, perhaps you appreciated him, that sort of made him, jump and say, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Just one story, perhaps.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, Richard does, Baba Richard does so many things that display appreciation of who I am. And how I do things. Whenever I complete something, or I bring him and show him something, something I've written, he will, I do a lot of writing, and he will come and he'll say, I really love your pen. I love the way you write. I love your mind. I love how you think of things. And he tells me frequently how much he thanks God for me, and how he, probably the greatest expression of that was when we were getting married, and his vow, a part of his vows to me was, I know that God exists and that God loves me because he gave me you.
Amazing.
And it was a very powerful space of appreciation. And for me, it also called to mind the responsibility of being his wife, because if he feels like God exists and loves him because I'm in his life, then I also feel a responsibility to be a representation of that love as well, and to always bring that to mind. So he's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Gosh, I can just imagine what sort of children you've raised to grow up in that environment of appreciation and love, and the way you just live your life. It's incredible. Let's talk very briefly, perhaps, about handling difficult situations from outside. Maybe not that it has happened to you. Maybe one of your children has had a difficult time, and you have different opinions. How do you handle that as a couple, supporting your loved one?
Well, one of the things that we believe, and this is something we've always said, is that our job, our role as parents, are to help train and help bring up our kids. But as we are in this stage, because we have eight children and they're all adults, to provide that wise counsel. And wise counsel, one of the things about counsel is that you engage counsel at the behest of the person that needs the advice, meaning that when they want our wisdom, then they are comfortable and they feel loved and appreciated, and they can access that at any time, as opposed to us at this juncture looking into their lives and saying, well, you need to do this differently or do that differently. We don't do that. We hear for them. We love and support them, and we love them unconditionally. And they have all kinds of different personalities, different ways of going through the world, and it's generally a wonderful experience to see the men and women that they've grown into.
Yes, we have 5 sons and 3 daughters, and they range in age 20 to 32. And we one of our principles of our family is that home is, first of all, they always have a place at home, and that home is always a safe place for them to land, where they are loved, honored, and respected. And so if they are struggling with something, or they're finding, they experience heartbreak. Thankfully, it hasn't happened very often, but they experience heartbreak in one degree or another, whether it's in love or in work or business or whatever. They know, and they do, that they can come home and I'm going to cook for them, and I'm going to hug them up. We're very touchy-feely, and we're going to laugh. And that's probably one of the biggest things that we found, we've been told is so different about our family, is that we laugh a lot. And so they're going to get that laughter, they're going to get that acceptance, and they're going to get resources. And if they want it, they'll get our counsel, as well as resources, people that we network, that can assist them in their next stage. So we really treat it, we think that networking in family life is as important as it in business, So we do that with our kids, and we teach them how to do it with each other as well, because there's so many of them. We're like a small town.
Beautiful, beautiful. We are coming towards the end of our time here, guys, and I'm loving every moment of this, and certainly would love to have you back again to explore more about this. But before we wrap up, for those couples out there, maybe they're looking to have what you have. Are there any skills you would suggest they start working on, other than what we've already touched on?
The most important thing, I believe, is mindset.
Right.
In order for you to achieve anything, you have to believe that it is in fact possible. And once you believe that, then the dominoes tend to fall, and the universe offers you an opportunity for that which is your heart's desire. But that mindset piece is critical. You have to envision that love of your life. You have to envision that laughter, those hand-holding moments, the intimacy and hugs and the shared visioning and all of those things. In order for those to come into the physical and actually be part of reality, first they have to start inside of you. Many people are looking for reality to manifest itself and prove to them that they can be happy, and then they'll take the necessary steps in order to make that happen. That isn't how it works. It starts inside you first, and then it becomes a reality that you can experience.
Yes, and the only thing that I would say or add to that is forgiveness. That is a skill that you must learn how to cultivate, to be quick to forgive, and to know that forgiveness is to cancel the debt, not just to say, I forgive you, meaning that when you say you forgive, it needs to be as if it never happened. I'm canceling the fact that there's any debt, that there was anything wrong, and we are all together whole once again. And if you can do those two things, mindset and forgiveness, they're the small things that are huge and make the biggest difference.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I know you guys have got some training courses to help couples.
Yes.
Would you share with our audience here how they can, maybe get into some of your training programs?
Yeah, so they can find us at infinitecouple.com. We have courses and classes and trainings for women, for men, for couples together, for business, as well as opportunities to work with us one-on-one.
Absolutely.
And where can they find it? Again, the website?
Yes, infinitecouple.com. And you can also find us all over social media. All you have to do is look for Infinite Couple or Richard and Namaste. And we are the only ones. So we're pretty easy to find.
Yes, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And final thoughts for those who really want to have what you have. How soon can they have it, and how fast can they have it?
Well, we actually have a class called Dating for Marriage, and a whole system around that. And we always say with that, if you take it and you do what we tell you to do, you can go from dating to married within a year. And we have the students to prove it. Just recently, we had a student go from no one in her life to being married in about, 8 months?
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months, yeah.
That was pretty phenomenal. Now she's happily married. So yeah, we guarantee it. And we tell people, don't take this unless you really want to be married.
Right. You have to do what we tell you to do. If you do it, you will be successful.
Exactly.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And I know listeners here are going to love this as well. And there you go, guys. If you want to learn more of how you can build a relationship with who translate it to your business relationships and produce amazing results, you know where to go. Just click the link below and you'll be taken to Richard and Namaste's website for you to find out more information. While we are at it, we will be broadcasting on Clubhouse every Monday to Saturday at 9 p.m. UK time. So you can join us there. We'll be talking about all things business, and some of the things we'll be talking about will be relationships. You want to have this done properly. With that said, have a great day. We believe in you and we believe in what you're doing. Wish you the very best. Until next time. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.